Dr. Int is insane. Kind of. Mana crystals are one of the smaller mysteries in Lannfinder. They're easily glossed over, and not many people try and understand what they actually are past a surface level understanding. But what actually makes mana crystals, and by extension Dr. Int, so dangerous? Well, I have to break down the power system of Lannfinder first. Lannfinder's power system revolves around mana, which we can see within this deleted scene for part 1. Mana seems to be what is essentially the cursed energy of the Somnium Saga. It is what is channeled into the user's attacks for their power. Every time they use their power, it costs mana. We can clearly see this with Flame. His basic fireballs and his physical flame attacks have a low mana cost, and therefore can be used more often with little punishment. His repulsion kick noticeably exhausts him, as it is a much stronger attack and therefore requires more mana. This is a high mana cost attack. Mana is clearly a power source, as Protocol 001 and by extension Siberia are powered by mana. Reflection also uses mana to power up his lightning blast against Unknown. So now that we have an understanding of the power system of Lannfinder, how do the crystals link to that power system? When Rayshade is hit by a mana crystal, he is noticeably weakened heavily, to the point where he struggles to stand and his power also malfunctions. There are two possibilities for this. A, he is heavily weakened by blood loss, or B, the mana crystals are able to siphon his mana in some way, causing a stamina draining effect. I am under the impression that option B is the correct interpretation, and I'll explain why. When the crystals stab into Rayshade and Unknown, there are no blood effects, even though consistently in the series, when a character is stabbed or shot, they bleed. Unknown also seems to be immune to the effects of the mana crystals, as even if you believe that Rayshade was taken down by the piercing of the crystal, it's clear they have an additional side effect. When Rayshade and Reflection are hit by the crystal, they flash cyan momentarily, whilst Unknown does not flash cyan. Unknown even says that it doesn't work on him. He's clearly immune to the effect of it. He also shows no weakness when hit. This will be important for later. And for the nail in the coffin, Int literally kills one of Rayshade's souls with a mana crystal. Not just defeated it, he literally kills it. This is why the other soul gets so angry and disobeys Rayshade's command, because his friend literally died. So there's clearly something up with the mana crystals. They're not ordinary weapons. Okay, so now we know that the crystals do have a siphoning-like effect. But why don't the fighters bleed? And why is Unknown just completely unaffected by the crystals piercing his body? Well, what if the mana crystals aren't actually damaging their physical body? It could be that the crystals target the mana specifically, which would explain why there is no blood, and why Unknown is not effective. So what does this mean overall for Reflection's mana crystals? This means that the mana crystals have a mana draining effect, along with durability negation, meaning that yes, these are going to affect characters as durable as Earth, and even Sivorhu's and the Last Guardian. But if you caught what I said that Reflection's mana crystals, not Int's, as Int's mana crystals work slightly differently to Reflection's. The difference between Int's and Reflection's mana crystals is that Int's mana crystals are also able to target the physical body, alongside targeting the mana, meaning that his crystals are likely another form of durability negation, but towards the body as well. Meaning that not only is Int able to damage characters well above his tier, but he is also able to drain their mana, which exhausts them pretty heavily. This unironically means that Int has more win cons against the Last Guardian and Sivorhu's than what Space Fragment does. What a bum. So yeah, Int has insane attacking options and is incredibly lethal. The problem is that he just doesn't have the physical stats nor the skill to win against the other fighters. Blade is simply too skilled and versatile. Mutant is too fast. Milky is too evasive. The only character I could see Int maybe being able to consistently pick up a win against is Flame. Flame doesn't have the speed of Mutant, the evasiveness of Milky, and isn't as overall consistent as Blade. But still, he has ranged attacks and can react to Space Fragment. Combat him in close quarters, and if he lands that repulsion kick, it's just GG. Int doesn't really have many durability feats, and therefore you could argue that the big Fire Blast that he uses in the prequel is enough to take him out. Int is just the perfect example of just because you have an overpowered ability doesn't mean you're an overpowered character. He's more likely to fall onto his own mana crystals than he is able to actually hit his opponent. Especially since he's doing whatever this is. His offensive power is insane, but god, his combat ability is so shit. Wait, this means that there is a possible fight scenario where Int beats Space Fragment. Huh. Well, at least Int is now able to fight on par with children now. I guess that's something.